It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Y'all know we got to go ahead and cover this whole Lil Durk situation, man. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this is pretty sad. You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk is one of the top artists in hip hop today. One of the few artists that's out there that's still selling, you know what I'm saying, pretty good records, getting into that 100,000 first week type margin with his music. And it seems that even with the success, he still has not been learning this lesson. And seems like his homies ain't been learning their lesson either. Wasn't too long ago, within a couple years ago, they went on, Durk went on $1 million worth of game with Gilly and Wallow had a very emotional moment with Lil Durk and his OTF associates and his entourage, basically saying that he prays and hopes that one day they make it out, one day they grow up and wake up and, you know, get out of the streets and street mentality, get to the money, take that same fearlessness that they carry in the streets into, you know, the money game, the corporate game, the music business even. You know what I'm saying? He said, y'all be unstoppable. Y'all take that same fearlessness and do an energy transfer towards changing your life and doing positive. Y'all will be unstoppable. Unfortunately, I don't think it got through. You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk has been arrested. Before he got detained, his boys got arrested. There's an indictment that's out there, man. It's a lot, right? Now, to my knowledge, all of this originates from the killing of King Von here in Atlanta. Unfortunately, there was a fight, I believe, between himself and Quando Rondo and their entourages. Shots rang out, and King Von is no longer here with us. You know what I'm saying? From that point forward, it's been all about the get back, right? So this indictment that's available online, it was filed before Durk's arrest. His name is not explicitly in the indictment. However, he is being referred to all throughout the indictment as co-conspirator 1, I believe. So they're using some code names in the indictment. And we're just going to run through it to get a bit of understanding of what's going on, right? Now, he is under investigation for murder for hire, conspiracy. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals. This shit is crazy, man. His life as a rapper, as a star, as a celebrity, all of it could come crashing down. Fucking ridiculous. But when you engage in this type of activity, they always tell you you're either going to end up dead or in jail. Very few people make it out to the other side, and those that do, perhaps one day that past life catches up to them. Let's go. Let's move forward. So here we are with the indictment that was filed on October 17th. So this is the U.S. versus Kevon London Grant, a.k.a. Cuz, a.k.a. Vonnie, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, a.k.a. Didi, Keith Jones, a.k.a. Flocka, David Brian Lindsay, a.k.a. Brown Eyes, and Asa Houston, a.k.a. Boogie. Again, in this particular indictment, Durk's name is not explicitly named. However, he is heavily referred to, and I believe with his arrest from today, an indictment of his own will be hitting the streets, but this is what we have to work with at the time. Okay, grand jury charges, introductory allegations at times relevant to this indictment. Defendants Kevon London Grant, also known as Cuz, a.k.a. Vonnie, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Didi, Asa Houston, Boogie, whatever, and co-conspirators 1 through 5 were members or associates of an organization called Only the Family, or OTF, which among other things produced and sold hip-hop music from artists primarily from the Chicago, Illinois area. Defendants Keith Jones, aka Flocka, and David Brian Lindsay, aka Brown Eyes, were members of other gangs in Chicago. On or about November 6, 2020, DB. Now, when we talk about DB, this is where they make reference to King Von, although his name is not explicitly said here. They're calling him DB. A high-ranking OTF member got into a physical altercation with TB at a nightclub in Atlanta, Georgia. And TB would also be, I believe, the reference to Quando Rondo. During the fight, an associate of TB pulled out a gun and shot DB multiple times, unaliving him. After the murder, co-conspirator 1 made clear, co-conspirator 1, from my knowledge, is Durk, made clear in coded language that co-conspirator 1 would pay a bounty or monetary reward and or make payment to anyone who took part in killing TB for his role in DB's murder. On or about August 18, 2022, the conspirators learned that TB was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles, California. As alleged in counts 1 and 2, after learning of TB's location, defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2, who I don't know, traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles for the purpose of murdering TB. On that same day, August 18, 2022, defendant Grant also traveled by private jet to Los Angeles, California. As alleged in counts 1 and 2, on August 19, 2022, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 used 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to kill TB by gunfire, including with a fully automatic firearm, resulting in the death of SR, which I believe is Young Poob. Okay. Paragraphs 1 through 4 of the introductory allegations of this indictment are realleged and incorporated here. Object of the conspiracy. Beginning on a date unknown, but no later than or around August 18, 2022, and continuing to on or about August 19th in LA County within the Central District of California and elsewhere, defendants Kevon London Grant, also known aka as Cuz or Vonnie, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, aka Didi, Keith Jones, aka Flocka, David Brian Lindsay, aka Brown Eyes, and Asa Houston, aka Boogie, and co-conspirators known and unknown conspired and agreed with each other to knowingly use facilities of interstate and foreign commerce, namely airplanes, cars, cell phone, and the internet, with the intent that the murder of TB be committed in violation of the laws of any state, namely the state of California, as consideration for the receipt of and consideration for a promise and agreement to pay anything of pecuniary value, namely money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1958A. The use of interstate facilities to commit murder, that was the object of the conspiracy, resulted in the death of SR, which by the object of the conspiracy was to be accomplished. The object of the conspiracy was to be accomplished in substance as follows. Co-conspirator 1 would place bounties on individuals that co-conspirator 1 and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. As part of the bounty, co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the killing of TB and or reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would recruit others, including defendants Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2, to find, track, and kill TB. Defendant Grant would procure cars, ski masks, and firearms that would be used by co-conspirators to find, attack, and kill TB. Using a credit card associated with OTF, co-conspirator 3 would purchase airplane tickets for the co-conspirators to fly to California and commit murder. So they even had some sort of company card associated with OTF as a label, which was used to purchase the tickets. I wonder why they used a credit card associated with the company to commission crime. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 would travel from Chicago to Southern California via airplane to find, track, and you know what they do. Defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 would travel throughout LA County via cars procured by defendant Grant to find, track, and do the deed. Defendants Grant Wilson, they would communicate via cell phone to coordinate logistics to find, track, and do what they wanted to do. Defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 would fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in TB's vehicle. Defendant Wilson would pay the bounty or monetary reward and or cause payment to be made for this on behalf of co-conspirators known and unknown hired to do so. Okay? Some crazy stuff going on here. They say on or about the following dates in furtherance of the conspiracy and to accomplish its object, defendants Grant Wilson and others committed various overt acts in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California and elsewhere, including but not limited to, overt acts. Number 1, they followed the killing of DB on or about November 6th. Basically after the killing of DB on November 6, 2020, co-conspirator 1 used a code. We already got to that. He said he would pay the bounty. August 18th, 2022, almost 2 years later, they came together, learned that TB was visiting California and staying at a specific hotel. Act number 3, they flew from Miami to LA on a private jet so that they could help coordinate this conspiracy. Act number 4, co-conspirators asked co-conspirator 2 to travel, so he also was asked to come out there. On August 18th, they all traveled for the purpose of murdering and helped facilitate such travel by, among other things, texting co-conspirator 3 biographical information about defendants Joan and Lindsay so that co-conspirator 3 could book flights to Southern California, specifically defendant Jones' names, date of birth, and a picture of him in his ID card. And the same for the other man. On August 18th, co-conspirator 1 texted co-conspirator 3, don't book no flights under no names involved with me. And remember, co-conspirator 1 is allegedly Durk. Overt act number 7. On August 18th, using a credit card ending in, we don't need to know all that. They purchased airplane tickets for defendants to go from Chicago to San Diego, California. Co-conspirator 3 was then confirmed via text message that defendants had taken the airline ticket information. We get a text via Instagram, on my way to LA. So they have a paper trail of all of this happening. That's what's being outlined here. August 18th, defendant Houston texted co-conspirator 3, on got clear, I'm 15 minutes away from the airport. Okay, August 18th, defendant Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston. They flew from Chicago. Okay. Over act number 12, we got them traveling toward Los Angeles County in a car to meet up. Defendant Grant purchased 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store. Okay, using a separate credit card, defendant Grant rented a hotel room for these guys located in LA. Next, in or around Los Angeles, defendant Grant met with co-conspirators and they all armed themselves, okay, including a firearm that had been modified to operate as a fully automatic machine gun. Wow. All right, moving forward. He provided 2 cars. Mr. Grant provided 2 cars. And they got on let's just say neighborhood watch. Okay. One of the cars was a white BMW sedan and a white Infiniti sedan with a fake license plate. So those are the 2 vehicles. They got everything on y'all, bruh. Grant and other co-conspirators traveled in the BMW and the Infiniti to a hotel downtown Los Angeles where TB was staying. Using the BMW and Infiniti, they traveled to downtown LA where they continued to track behind. Using the BMW and Infiniti, the defendants and co-conspirator 2 followed and tracked his Escalade to a marijuana dispensary located on Flower Street. Okay, this is the next day now. Using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants followed and tracked his Escalade to a clothing store on Melrose in West Hollywood. The below image shows the BMW and the Infiniti on the fucking road. They got y'all on candid camera. Wow. And then this is Quando Rondo in the Escalade. Shit. Using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants tracked his Escalade to a gas station located on Beverly Boulevard. So you can see that they're continuing to trail throughout the day. Followed behind a alley behind Beverly gas station, parked the vehicle so that defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 could attempt their shooting. This is crazy. Overt act number 23. At the Beverly gas station, defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 used the firearms procured by defendant Grant, including the fully automatic firearm. They fired at TB's car, striking and killing SR, who was standing next to TB's car, while TB was still inside. The images below show defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 firing at TB's black Escalade. So they got y'all on camera, getting out of your vehicle, upping your firearms to do the deed. Y'all thought y'all was not on camera behind that alley. Ain't that some shit? Overt act number 24. In the Infiniti driven by defendant Houston, defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 fled the alley behind the Beverly gas station after they shot and killed SR. They traveled to a hamburger restaurant in LA County where they discussed, among other things, payments to defendants Jones and Lindsay for firing off. Okay, using OTF credit card 1, co-conspirator 3 purchased airline tickets from San Diego to Chicago for defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2. So now they're trying to get back to Chi-Town. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, co-conspirator 2, then proceeded to fly back. Following the shooting, defendant Wilson paid defendants Jones and Lindsay on behalf of a co-conspirator for their role. So money was given. They actually did earn their keep. Wow. Beginning on a date unknown, but no later than around August 18th, 2022. Let's see what y'all talking about here. This is the same stuff pretty much. So these are all the like codes. And then here they talk about use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death in violation of Title 18. So that's where the murder for hire. If you see Lil Durk's police records, they also have murder for hire on his arrest paperwork. Okay. Now, what I have not seen is what the agreed upon monetary value, which was promised for taking part in this. But that's what we got. They got y'all, bruh. They got y'all. And like I said, co-conspirator 1 is allegedly Lil Durk, who's giving the orders and telling them not to get no hotels or use no credit cards in association with names that will be associated with him. But they're using company cards through your company, and text messages and money was exchanged. This is looking bad, man. They've been on y'all trail for 2 years. Now, they're stating that allegedly one of the OTF members was actually an informant to the police, allegedly wearing wires for multiple years for these conversations. It's not looking good for Durk. It is not looking good at all, right? And in this situation where we're talking about people that are actually unaliving each other and intentionally doing so. This is not self-defense necessarily. This is all aggressor activity. This is planned out conspiracy. I really can't express hopes of anybody being released. I can't do no free campaigns. You know, whatever happens, however this thing works out is how it goes, man. If he gets off, that will be by some miracle. But it ain't looking good for your boy. You know, for those of y'all that have been on my channel for a while, I told y'all I went to Dreamville Fest 2022, I believe it was. And was it 22 or was it last year? It was last year. Yeah. And bruh, Lil Durk was performing, and them songs he was performing, you know, we from what? It's not from 63rd, all that shit. I was vibing for like the first song, and then as I'm listening to him rap, because I've heard his songs, but I never really like dug deep into what he was talking about. I just had this like eerie feeling come over me where I could no longer bob my head to none of the music. Like everybody was singing the shit word for word. He had these red strobe lights and you know, cause you get the lighting on stage, but he had this red light that was just like over the crowd. And it just felt like death was among us. You know what I'm saying? Nobody died at the show, but that's just what came over me. And I told my girl, I said, man, this music ain't sitting right with me. I don't know what it is. Cause I've listened to gangster rap all my life. Some of my favorite rappers make music about the same subject matter. But I'm like, man, based on what we know about Durk and people that have died and shit like that, hearing that in that setting and having everybody like chant along with it, that shit was weird. It's the first time in my life I was like nervous over rap music. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't know if it was like my old nigga code kicking in or what, but I was like, bruh, this don't feel right. And here we are a year later. And that's with limited knowledge of what was going on, but I understood what was happening, of course, with King Von's death and all of that other shit. But I didn't know how intimately everybody was involved. I understand now why I felt that way. But you know, blessings to everyone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck to say. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Oh man, J1, before I go, J1, you out here blaming people doing lyrical breakdowns on Lil Durk's music? You're mad at journalists covering Lil Durk and speaking on this situation? Nobody made none of them niggas go out and do this shit. There's not one YouTuber out here responsible for nobody's blood on their hands. I don't even give a fuck if you don't like that nigga that did the serial killer King Von video. I forget his name. His name escapes me at the moment. I don't even give a fuck if you don't like him. But you gotta understand, we don't make them niggas do that. The niggas that listen to the music, the niggas that's breaking down the music, the niggas that's covering the music, nobody's making them do none of that shit, bruh. I rock with a lot of your takes. That one, way off base. All right? Once again, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.